Oh boy, just finished work. And I've been thinking today about information is the new currency or will actually eventually be currency. A lot of people don't seem to be able to wrap their brain around that. But in many corners of the aspects of actual currency, it's already happening. Like, look at Bitcoin. It's just digital currency. But it's even more than that. Now that so many people distrust mainstream media because there's lots of biasness. There's a biased take on many things. Not all of them, but a lot of it too much. And it's really become, particularly in America, and these news feeds are entertainment shows, they're not news feeds. And you get bloggers, people, the average Joe blogs, coming around to wondering about what is really going on. What is there information that is not so twisted to a bias opinion and so on. And their curiosity raises. Then they look for information that actually goes forward somewhere, like how you research obviously would be finding out point A leads to point B because of all the things that went on in between. Then from point B, things that happened in point B predictably led to point C, rather than granulated bits of information that have nothing to do with each other, and then somebody bludgeon out the gospel truth, like some flat earther saying, oh, this is true, or some anti-vaxxer. He can't back his shit up because he doesn't know how to connect the dots between point A, B, C. I said for years when I ran an Odin project called Reality Explorations, I was waiting for people to connect the dots. It didn't mean I was right about everything. I was just waiting for people to connect the dots between sets of information to come to conclusions and show why they was saying that particular conclusion. And it doesn't necessarily mean the conclusion is right either, but it's coherency. So now you got quality information because of the coherency of how it backs itself up, and you got low grade quality information. It's a commodity now because people are sick and tired of being lied to. Truth runs in a straight line normally, and lots of things cloud that and get in the way of that. Conspiracy nutty stuff gets in the way and forms a rabbit hole that will send you utterly crazy, cuckoo, mad, and frustrated actually, because of people who should know better are in the way. And now we get people who would never expect actually claiming that the pandemic is a conspiracy. Any idea of it being a conspiracy doesn't fit or comport with the reality that is actually happening right now. Whatever they blurt out doesn't fit, like the flat earth model doesn't fit with reality either. So these are some of the trinkets of why information is currency in a ever-increasing world where things have been transitioned from physical goods to information now. What I mean by that, let's go back to the 80s. We had audio cassette tapes, a physical device that played this or physical cassette tape in a through speakers, and you could carry this with you. Now it's like you don't need the audio cassette tape. You have the equivalent of millions of audio cassette tapes with much better audio quality, potentially in a digital form, that audio cassette tape became information rather than the information just on the tape itself. Things got smaller and smaller. And eventually, you know, this is how information will be currency, and a large portion of currency, if you think of your coinage and your notes and all that, has only been information as well, ever, for a long time. Take a look at how banks make money out of loans. It's just digital information. Your loan in a computer somewhere is just digits. That's how they make money out of thin air. It's just money gets manufactured, but and so on. You have to pay your loan, but you're paying for something that doesn't exist except for digits in a machine. I'm kind of oversimplifying it in some ways, but it's hard for people to get their brains around who just stopped keeping up with the traction of changes over time from the late 80s to the early 90s. It's 2020 now, and we have a society where, just basically we live in this digital world. It's a testament to, this new reality is the growing testament to the importance of this new reality that the digital world is, that people value information, content, and they value the power of the internet to access that information quickly. People download songs now, not audio cassette tapes. They don't buy a physical thing to play their audios anymore. They can download songs now in completely digital form. You don't have to buy a device to use it. You've already got it, which would be your home computer, maybe. Or your mobile phone, and everyone seems to have a mobile phone anyway. You can purchase movies online. Movies went onto DVDs some not that long ago. And DVDs were a spin-off technology from CDs, compact disc. And, you could have brought a 600 megabyte on a compact disc. Suddenly you turn that into 1024 megabyte, or even more, which is, you got gigabytes now instead of megabytes. But, even the DVD is become somewhat obsolete to some degree, but it's still being used like free DVD with a magazine, and pop it in and install your software with the computer magazines and things like this. It's still useful. You can still buy audio cassette tapes, but the whole market's changed for people who are still like to experiment with audio and things like that. So you use all types of technologies, old and new, something old, new, and borrowed, right? So industry leaders like Google, Facebook have demonstrated opportunities to monetize information are very abundant. And like money, data can be stolen. As information grows in value now, it's like money, information needs to be maintained and it needs to be protected. It's very much the same thing. But it's a commodity now, but the best information with delivered the best way so you can get the best understanding of that information equals power. When people say knowledge equals power, it's really you want to break it down to the best delivery of information, giving people the best understanding equals power. Because if you educate the masses via information exchange, they can apply their knowledge to practical things out there in life. So then now, again, the quality information would be worth something, very much worth something, and you may even go back to some kind of barter system now, but it would be information for this set of information for another set of information. It's a commodity, it really is. And people say, oh, they keep banding around, oh, that's way off, when all currency will be information. There's always that attitude, oh, that's way off. Like, Neuralink as well, the attitude of Neuralink, a chip in your brain to allow you to use your brain in a efficient way with technologies arranging in a wireless communication. You think words and they come up on the screen. Things like that are possible now. Go and have a look at the DARPA technologies I wrote about as well. Flying drones with just thinking. Yeah, it sounds like I'm talking about science fiction, but it's just information. Everything's going into information. It's turning into information. Things like books as well. There's now audiobooks. Some people find it a better assimilation of the information and a better understanding, again, which equals power, by listening to audiobooks rather than reading the book. Yeah, and what next? Download a book to your brain, to a Neuralink chip, and then suddenly you got the knowledge there anyway, accessible. You didn't hear it, you didn't listen to it, but it programmed your brain. Now that would be somewhere far off, I think, but there's no reason why I don't think there's any reason why that cannot happen with the advent of technologies that are bio-integrated chip technologies now, giving us the potential ability to do things that are extending our human skills, advancing our skills, upgrades, and so on. Which leads on to many other subjects and philosophy of identity and so on. Right? Information is currency in many ways. It's not entirely currency. Obviously, people still use money notes and so on. But there's a lot of card usage. What do you think happens when you use a card? There's no physical money exchanged. Numbers change in your bank account when you use your bank card for contactless. You've just exchanged information. Information is therefore currency. But people already think, oh, when they first hear me saying things, it's not everyone. Some people, again, who are very old paradigm thinkers, and kind of like they're set in stone. They don't have a flexible plasticity, if you will, adaptation of the changes happening faster and faster. They tend to think, oh, what do you mean information's currency? That this banknote, this dollar bill, this £10 note, what if it was from the UK, is currency? They don't think beyond what's right in front of them. Some people, when they're thinking like that. And, what is right in front, right under their nose, is the changing of, power changing hands as well. The average Joe blogs can become very smart with the right information exchange. Any paradigm shift has never come top down. It's always come from more like middle classes and slightly higher up maybe. You never get it from an authority downwards. So. It's why information exchange will I think, free us from the shackles of too much corporative power. Like, you get the big giants, and then they, like the technology giants, becoming a bit more granulated. They begin to get smaller as other people do their own thing and have their own companies, maybe tied in with those giants as well, but they are their own thing as well, and they can come and leave as they please. That's happening a lot. I mean, years ago, early origins of the internet, you had to be a technical whiz just to write a blog, if anyone even heard of a blog back then. Now it's free systems, free sign-ups. You write blogs. It's just a dime a dozen now. It's not even a novelty anymore. Then there's better ways to do it as well. There's more advanced ways to be more specific with your blogs and so on. Alright. Think about this, and it's mind-blowingly obvious to a large set of people, but there's still a large set of other people as well who think, what are you talking about, information being currency? I don't understand that. Particularly your private information is at risk. That's a whole other thing as well. Information has been commoditized in a big way, particularly favouring certain sets of information. And I'm going to write an article on this for Exploratory Minds main blog. All right, sure. It might be quite a big article, actually, depending on how I go about this. And, it's very polarized, I think, in people's ignorance of how that is actually happening right under their nose. And another set of people would see, yeah, well, of course, you're talking 100% sense. In between, there's nothing happening. It's either, or yes, I totally agree. It seems that way to me. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. It just seems a lot of things are even more polarized as well as we get into advances of technology and how society falls apart in one area at the same time it's advancing in some other areas. There's a lot of collapsing of an old system that we're seeing globally here at the moment, I think. And I think it's because of a natural evolution to doing things differently. Peace out. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll look forward to doing the next video. Cheers. Bye.